After 60, every bite you take is more than just flavor. It's a decision about how long and how well you'll live. Picture this. You sit at the breakfast table, reaching for a bowl of fruit. Maybe it's a handful of grapes, a slice of melon, or a piece of dried fruit you've kept in the pantry. For most of your life, you've believed fruit is always healthy, sweet, refreshing, and harmless. But here's the truth. Very few people talk about. Not all fruit is created equal, and not all of it is safe for you. At this stage of life, your body doesn't recover the way it used to. The wrong kind of fruit, or even the right fruit eaten the wrong way, can quietly add to inflammation, raise blood sugar, or even feed the conditions that lead to cancer. It's like letting weeds take root in the garden you've spent decades tending. You may not notice the damage at first, but over time, the cost becomes clear. But here's the good news. Nature also gives us fruits that act like medicine, powerful allies sitting right in your grocery store, waiting to strengthen your body. Fruits rich in antioxidants, fiber, and natural compounds that can fight off disease, protect your cells, and give you the energy to keep doing what you love. Walking with friends, playing with grandchildren, or simply enjoying your independence. In this video, we're going to uncover both sides of the story. 4 fruits that, when eaten carelessly, can fuel the very diseases you fear the most. And 4 fruits that can serve as a shield, guarding your health when you need it most. By the end, you'll know exactly what to keep in your fruit bowl and what to leave behind. And those choices, small, simple, everyday choices, can make the difference between quietly losing strength or living the years ahead with clarity, vitality, and joy. Grapes and watermelon, familiar fruits with hidden risks. After 60, fruit often feels like the safest choice. A bowl of grapes on the kitchen counter, a slice of watermelon on a hot afternoon, small comforts that bring back memories of summers past and family gatherings. Sweet, refreshing, and easy to enjoy, these fruits seem harmless. Yet the truth is more complicated. What looks safe and familiar can sometimes hide silent dangers that matter more as the body grows older. Grapes are loved for their simplicity. They need no peeling, no slicing, no preparation beyond a quick rinse. Their size makes them effortless to snack on, which is why so many seniors keep them nearby. The problem begins with what cannot be seen. Grapes are among the most pesticide-heavy fruits sold in the United States. Invisible chemical residues cling tightly to the skin. A younger body might filter them out, but after 60, the liver carries a heavier burden. It does not recover as quickly from toxins, and every small exposure becomes more significant. Even when washed, grapes can carry another hidden threat. They mold quickly, sometimes without clear warning. Mold is not just an unpleasant taste, it produces aflatoxin, one of the most powerful cancer-causing substances known. Aflatoxin attacks the liver, slowly and silently. A single moldy grape might not make someone sick immediately, but repeated exposures over months or years chip away at health. The danger is cumulative, like water dripping onto stone until it carves a hole. By the time symptoms appear, the damage has already been done. For older generations raised in times of scarcity, the instinct is often not to waste food. A grape that looks only slightly bad is tossed into the mouth without worry. A bruised bunch is eaten because it's still good enough. But mold is not just on the visible surface. Once present, toxins can spread beyond what the eye sees. Cutting away the soft spot does not guarantee safety. The body at this stage of life cannot afford to gamble. The wisest choice is to discard the entire bunch if even a few grapes show signs of mold. The cost of a replacement bag is nothing compared to the value of another year of health. Watermelon carries a different but equally serious risk. Its bright red flesh is nearly 90% water, making it one of the most hydrating foods on Earth. On a summer day, a cold slice feels like medicine. But once the rind is cut and the flesh exposed, watermelon becomes a perfect breeding ground for bacteria. Warmth, moisture, and sugar create conditions where organisms like Salmonella and E. coli thrive. Left on a picnic table for a few hours or stored too long in the refrigerator, a once safe food turns into a silent threat. Foodborne illness strikes harder in older adults. Stomach acid weakens with age, so fewer bacteria are destroyed before reaching the intestines. The immune system responds more slowly, giving infections time to spread. What might be a short lived stomach upset for someone in their 30s can mean severe dehydration, hospitalization, or worse for someone over 60. But the damage doesn't always stop at food poisoning. Repeated bacterial infections contribute to chronic inflammation, and chronic inflammation lays the groundwork for cancer. What seems like just a bad slice of melon can have consequences far beyond a temporary illness. Everyday habits make the risk worse. A large watermelon is cut into slices, a few eaten, and the rest left on the counter. At a barbecue, pieces sit in the sun while people go back for seconds. In homes where money is saved by stretching food, a cut watermelon is eaten over the course of a week. Each of these habits opens the door for bacteria to multiply unseen. Even refrigeration is not always enough. Without airtight storage, bacteria spread from other foods or from hands that handled raw meat before touching the melon. The common mistake is thinking that a soft or discolored spot can be scooped away and the rest enjoyed. But contamination spreads invisibly. By the time the flesh looks suspicious, bacteria have already made their way through the fruit. No one would knowingly drink contaminated water, but eating spoiled melon is no different. Safer habits protect health without taking away enjoyment. Grapes should be rinsed thoroughly under running water, stored cold, and checked carefully for signs of mold. At the first hint of spoilage, the whole bunch should be discarded. Watermelon should be eaten quickly after cutting, stored in tightly sealed containers, and never left out for more than 2 hours. Even in the refrigerator, it should be consumed within a day or two. A large melon may feel like a bargain, but for 1 or 2 people, it often becomes a risk. Buying smaller portions is the wiser choice. There is a story of a man in his late 60s who kept a habit of buying big watermelons every summer. Living alone, he would cut them into slices and eat them gradually over a week. It seemed economical, but one summer he ended up in the hospital with severe dehydration. Tests showed a bacterial infection from spoiled melon. His doctor explained the truth. It wasn't watermelon itself that harmed him, but the way it was stored and handled. The lesson is simple. What worked when the body was younger may no longer be safe at 60 or 70. The risks of grapes and watermelon are not meant to scare, but to remind. Familiar fruits are not automatically harmless. Age changes the body, and what once seemed trivial now carries weight. The goal is not to avoid these fruits forever, but to treat them with respect. Wash carefully, store properly, discard without guilt. A single moment of caution can prevent days of illness or years of hidden damage. Health after 60 is built not just on big decisions, but on small, repeated choices. The choice to rinse grapes longer. The choice to throw out the questionable bunch. The choice to cover watermelon and eat it within a day. These decisions may seem ordinary, but they are acts of protection. They are how you guard your independence, your strength, your ability to keep enjoying life on your terms. Every bite matters more now. Grapes and watermelon can be part of a healthy diet, but only when handled wisely. They can refresh and nourish, or they can harm and weaken. The difference lies in vigilance. At this stage of life, the body deserves nothing less than care. And that care begins not with medicine or expensive treatments, but with the simple act of choosing which fruits to trust and how to treat them before they ever reach your mouth. Dried fruits, sugared snacks, and bruised produce. For many people over 60, fruit has always been a symbol of health. When children were young, lunchboxes often carried an apple or a banana. On family road trips, bags of raisins or dried fruit were passed around as an easy snack. At the store today, it is easy to find rows of neatly packaged dried mango, chewy apple slices, or sugar-coated banana chips, all labeled with phrases like natural, wholesome, and a healthy alternative to candy. These labels are comforting, but the truth behind them tells a different story. Dried fruit may look innocent, but ounce for ounce it contains far more sugar than its fresh counterpart. The drying process removes water, concentrating the natural sugars into dense pockets. A handful of dried mango might equal the sugar content of several whole mangoes. And when companies add even more sugar or syrups, the result becomes closer to candy than fruit. For a body over 60, these extra sugars do not simply provide energy. They push blood sugar higher, strain insulin response, and feed the cycle of weight gain and type 2 diabetes. Both of these conditions are strongly linked to cancer risk. Beyond the sugar, many dried fruits are treated with preservatives to keep them looking fresh and colorful. Sulfites, for example, preserve the bright orange of apricots and the golden glow of raisins. While effective for appearance, these chemicals can irritate sensitive stomachs and trigger reactions in people with asthma. More importantly, preservatives add to the chemical load on the body. Over years, exposure to artificial additives can contribute to oxidative stress, which weakens the body's ability to repair damaged cells and increases vulnerability to disease. Marketing has convinced many seniors that buying a bag of dried fruit is a smart choice, especially compared to cookies or chips. But the reality is that these healthy snacks can work against the very goals they claim to support. They are convenient, yes, but convenience often comes at a hidden cost. Sugar sticks to the teeth, increasing the risk of cavities in mouths already sensitive to aging gums. Spikes in blood sugar make energy levels crash, leaving fatigue that feels like a natural part of aging but is in part preventable. And long term, the extra calories add up quietly, inching the scale upward and feeding inflammation, one of the key drivers of cancer growth. Just as concerning as processed fruit snacks are the fruits that seem too simple to question. The bruised apple left on the counter, the banana with dark patches, the pear softening on one side. In a world where wasting food feels wrong, many people cut away the bruises and eat the rest. Growing up, parents often said, "It's fine, just scrape off the bad part." That habit lingers into later years, and yet, science has shown that what lies beneath those bruises can be more dangerous than it looks. Bruising creates an entry point for bacteria and fungi. Once inside, these organisms multiply, releasing toxins that spread through the flesh. What looks like a small blemish on the surface may mask a deeper contamination. The danger is not only spoilage, but the creation of harmful byproducts such as mycotoxins, compounds produced by certain molds that are toxic to human cells and, over time, can increase the risk of cancer. Eating bruised or fermented fruit is like inviting these toxins into the body, day after day. Oxidation also plays a role. When fruit tissue is damaged, oxygen reacts with enzymes inside the cells, producing browning and free radicals. Free radicals are unstable molecules that damage DNA, proteins, and cell membranes. For an older body already fighting natural declines in antioxidant defenses, these extra assaults accumulate. The result is accelerated aging at the cellular level and a higher chance of cancerous mutations taking hold. A piece of fruit might not seem like much, but patterns of behavior matter. Someone who eats bruised or fermented fruit regularly, believing it harmless, is unknowingly adding to a long-term burden. The toxins may be small in each bite, but health after 60 is less about single meals and more about accumulation. It is the sum of decades of choices that shape whether the body stays resilient or slips into disease. Many seniors continue these habits because they were raised during times when food was scarce and waste was unthinkable. During childhood, bruised fruit was still food, and every scrap mattered. But today, the context has changed. Food is more abundant, and life expectancy longer. What once was a sign of thriftiness can now become a risk to survival. Clinging to the old rule of never waste food may save $1 at the grocery store, but cost months or years of health. One powerful way to see the difference is to imagine the body as a bank account. Every time fresh, clean fruit is eaten, a deposit is made into long-term health. Every time moldy or bruised fruit is eaten, or dried fruit coated in sugar is consumed, a withdrawal is made. For a young adult, the account has plenty of reserves, and the withdrawals do not cause immediate trouble. For someone over 60, the account balance is lower, and every withdrawal carries greater risk. The goal now is not to take chances, but to protect the savings of health carefully. Stories illustrate this more clearly than statistics. A grandmother in her 70s loved dried apricots. She carried them in her purse and snacked throughout the day, believing she was making a smart choice. Yet over time, her doctor noticed her blood sugar climbing higher and her weight slowly increasing. She was puzzled. After all, she rarely touched cookies or soda. But the truth was in her snack bag. The dried fruit, full of hidden sugar and preservatives, had quietly become her greatest source of added calories. Only when she replaced it with fresh fruit in smaller portions did her blood sugar begin to stabilize. Another man, proud of never wasting food, always ate the bruised bananas left at the bottom of the basket. It's just a spot, he said. Over the years, he battled recurring digestive issues and fatigue. Tests eventually revealed chronic inflammation in his gut, likely worsened by repeated exposure to mold toxins from spoiled fruit. His habit of thriftiness, once praised, had turned into a hidden danger for his aging body. These stories are not meant to frighten, but to teach. What once seemed like minor habits, snacking on dried fruit, salvaging bruised produce, can take on new weight in later life. Age does not erase the body's resilience, but it does shorten the margin of error. The difference between health and illness can come down to small, repeated choices. Better options are always available. Choosing fresh fruit over dried, or at least limiting dried fruit to small amounts without added sugar, keeps calories and blood sugar under control. Storing fruit carefully to prevent bruising, buying smaller quantities to avoid spoilage, and discarding pieces that show signs of damage are simple steps that protect the body's defenses. No one likes the feeling of wasting food, but no piece of fruit is worth sacrificing health. The key message is simple. Fruit is powerful, but it is not automatically safe. After 60, the body no longer forgives the same mistakes it once did. Sugar hits harder. Preservatives linger longer. Toxins from mold cut deeper. Every bite counts more than before. By respecting these truths, it is possible to enjoy the sweetness of fruit while avoiding the hidden traps. Health in later life does not come from avoiding pleasure, but from choosing wisely. A crisp apple, eaten fresh and whole, nourishes without burden. A handful of blueberries offers antioxidants without overwhelming sugar. These choices bring both satisfaction and safety. They allow older adults to keep enjoying food while protecting the independence and vitality that matter most. When standing in the grocery store, staring at the shelves of dried mango or the bruised peaches on discount, the decision may feel small, but each choice is a statement. I choose my health. I choose more years with the people I love. In that moment, throwing away the bruised banana or skipping the sugar-coated dried fruit is not waste, it is wisdom. The truth about fruit is that it reflects life itself. Not everything that looks sweet is safe, not everything marketed as healthy is good, and not everything salvageable is worth saving. Age brings the wisdom to see through appearances and value what truly protects the body. Grapes and watermelon carried hidden risks. So too do dried fruits and bruised produce. By learning to see these dangers clearly, seniors gain the power to steer their health in the right direction. One careful bite at a time. Pomegranate and blueberries, antioxidant weapons. Aging changes the way the body fights disease. In youth, cells repair themselves quickly, toxins are flushed out with ease, and the immune system responds like a strong army. After 60, those defenses slow down. The body is still capable of healing, but it takes more support, more nourishment, and more care. That is why every bite of food becomes either a helping hand or an added burden. Among all the choices in the fruit aisle, two stand out as powerful allies: pomegranate and blueberries. Their colors alone, deep red and dark blue, reveal what scientists now understand. They are loaded with compounds that protect, restore, and defend. The pomegranate has been called the cancer warrior fruit. Its ruby red seeds are more than just beautiful. They hold polyphenols, plant-based chemicals with remarkable power. These compounds do more than provide color. They work at the cellular level, interfering with the growth of cancer cells and slowing their spread. Studies have shown that pomegranate juice can help inhibit prostate cancer and breast cancer, two of the most common threats to aging men and women. Drinking even a small glass each day is like giving your body a natural shield, one that strengthens your inner defenses without side effects or high costs. For seniors, this shield is particularly valuable. The liver and kidneys, which filter toxins, may not function as efficiently as they once did. The immune system may be slower to react to abnormal cells. Polyphenols from pomegranates step in where natural defenses struggle, neutralizing free radicals, those unstable molecules that damage DNA and spark the beginnings of cancer. By stopping free radicals before they wreak havoc, pomegranates reduce the burden on aging organs and give the body a fighting chance to stay balanced. There is also a psychological comfort in eating pomegranate. Breaking open the fruit with its hard outer shell, revealing bright, jewel-like seeds, feels like uncovering a treasure. Each seed bursts with tart sweetness, a reminder that health can still be joyful. Seniors who add pomegranate to their diet are not just nourishing their bodies, they are reconnecting with a sense of vitality and beauty in daily life. Small rituals like this create a deeper motivation to stay consistent, turning health into something to look forward to rather than a chore. Blueberries, though tiny, carry a similar weight in the fight for health. Known as a superfood, they are rich in anthocyanins, the compounds that give them their deep blue color. These anthocyanins protect DNA, the very blueprint of life. DNA damage is one of the first steps toward cancer, and as the years pass, small breaks and errors in DNA accumulate. Blueberries act like repair crews, neutralizing the free radicals that cause the damage in the first place. The benefits go beyond cancer prevention. Anthocyanins reduce inflammation, which is at the heart of many age-related diseases: arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline. For seniors who may feel the stiffness of joints or the fog of memory lapses, blueberries offer support that is both delicious and profound. Eating a handful each day is like giving the body and mind a natural tune-up. Inflammation is often described as a silent fire smoldering inside the body. Left unchecked, it spreads damage quietly until a major illness appears. Blueberries pour water on that fire. They calm the immune system, lowering levels of inflammatory markers in the blood. By reducing chronic inflammation, blueberries make it harder for cancer cells to take root and easier for the body to focus on true healing. The digestive system also benefits. Blueberries contain fiber, which nourishes healthy gut bacteria. A balanced gut microbiome strengthens immunity, improves nutrient absorption, and creates compounds that protect the colon from cancer. For seniors concerned about digestive health, constipation, or weight management, blueberries are a gentle yet powerful ally. Practicality is another strength. Blueberries require no peeling or preparation. Just rinse and eat. They freeze well, keeping their nutrients intact, which means they can be enjoyed year-round. For seniors on a budget, frozen blueberries are often more affordable and still provide the same health benefits as fresh. A simple habit of adding them to oatmeal, yogurt, or even eating them plain can transform breakfast into a disease-fighting ritual. The beauty of pomegranate and blueberries lies not just in their individual benefits, but in how they complement each other. One targets cancer cells directly with polyphenols, the other strengthens DNA and reduces inflammation with anthocyanins. Together, they provide a broad spectrum of defense. Imagine them as two guardians standing at the gate, one shielding against outside attack, the other repairing the walls from within. For a body that has weathered 6 decades or more, such guardianship is priceless. Stories bring these truths closer to home. A woman in her late 60s, after learning she had a family history of breast cancer, began drinking a small glass of pomegranate juice each morning. It became part of her daily ritual, like brushing her teeth. Over the years, she felt reassured knowing she was doing something tangible for her health, something within her control. Another man in his 70s, struggling with arthritis, added blueberries to his diet. Within months, he noticed less morning stiffness and more energy during walks. His doctor explained that reducing inflammation not only helped his joints, but also lowered his overall cancer risk. For both of them, these small changes brought not just physical benefits, but peace of mind. For seniors, peace of mind is as valuable as medicine. Knowing that choices at the table can make a real difference reduces fear and increases motivation. Pomegranates and blueberries do not promise miracles, but they do offer steady, reliable support. They show that health does not always come from pills or complicated treatments, but can grow from simple, everyday foods. It is also worth noting that these fruits carry no real downside when consumed in moderation. Unlike processed snacks or sugary drinks, they do not burden the body with toxins or empty calories. Instead, they deliver antioxidants, fiber, vitamins, and natural compounds that work in harmony with the body's needs. Seniors can feel confident enjoying them daily without worry. The symbolism of these fruits is powerful too. Pomegranate, with its crown-shaped top and treasure-like seeds, has been celebrated for centuries as a symbol of life and fertility. Blueberries, humble and small, show that strength can come from unexpected places. Together, they remind us that age does not diminish the ability to grow stronger. It only shifts the tools needed for resilience. The lesson is simple. Not all fruits are equal in their ability to protect health. While some may carry hidden risks, pomegranate and blueberries stand out as true allies. They fight on the front lines, protecting cells, calming inflammation, supporting digestion, and giving the immune system the help it needs. For those who want to remain independent, active, and joyful after 60, these fruits are more than snacks. They are investments in longevity. Every choice matters at this stage of life. Choosing to open a pomegranate instead of reaching for a cookie, choosing to toss blueberries onto a bowl of cereal instead of pouring extra sugar, choosing to snack on what nourishes rather than what depletes. These are the choices that shape the years ahead. They are the difference between a body that slowly breaks down and one that continues to carry you through days filled with family, friends, and freedom. The story of aging is not just about loss. It is about adaptation, about learning new ways to thrive. Pomegranates and blueberries are reminders that nature provides tools for this adaptation, gifts that align with the needs of the aging body. They are not luxuries, they are essentials. By welcoming them into the daily diet, seniors are not just eating. They are actively fighting, protecting, and building a stronger tomorrow. Citrus and apples, nature's protective shield. Health after 60 is not about chasing miracles, but about finding steady allies. Some of the strongest allies sit quietly in the fruit aisle, often overlooked because of their simplicity. Citrus fruits, like oranges, grapefruits, and lemons, along with the humble apple, have served generations not only as sources of refreshment, but as natural shields. Their power comes not from exotic rarity or expensive price tags, but from nutrients perfectly matched to the needs of the aging body. Citrus fruits are rich in vitamin C, a nutrient many people know only as a cold fighter. But vitamin C does far more than shorten a sniffle. It is one of the body's main antioxidants, a compound that neutralizes free radicals before they can damage DNA. Free radicals act like sparks jumping around inside the body, burning through cells and creating openings for disease. Vitamin C acts like a firefighter, putting out those sparks and protecting tissues from long-term harm. For seniors, this protection is vital. The natural repair systems in the body slow with age. What once would have been quickly fixed now lingers, turning small injuries into chronic problems. Free radical damage accumulates faster, creating wrinkles in the skin, stiffness in the joints, and higher risks of cancer. Citrus fruits step into this battle each day, offering a steady supply of antioxidants that slow the aging process and reduce the chances of stomach and esophageal cancer, two diseases that quietly rise with age. Citrus fruits also carry flavonoids, plant compounds that go beyond basic nutrition. Flavonoids calm inflammation, improve blood vessel health, and even support the body's ability to detoxify. Inflammation is at the core of many diseases of aging: arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Each bite of orange or grapefruit is like adding a small barrier against the tide of inflammation. These barriers do not make headlines, but they quietly strengthen the foundation of health day by day. Beyond science, citrus fruits provide simple joy. Peeling an orange fills the room with fragrance, a smell that connects to memories of childhood lunches, holiday stockings, and summer afternoons. For seniors, these sensory connections matter. They bring comfort, spark appetite, and remind the heart that caring for health can still feel bright and pleasant. Even something as simple as squeezing lemon into water can lift the spirit, making hydration more enjoyable and ensuring the body stays flushed and clean. Practicality makes citrus even more valuable. Oranges and grapefruits are affordable, widely available, and easy to eat without special preparation. A single orange can be breakfast, a snack, or dessert. Grapefruit halves sprinkled lightly with cinnamon can start the day with freshness. Lemons, though rarely eaten plain, turn plain water or tea into a cleansing tonic. These fruits require no expensive supplements or complicated recipes. They ask only for consistency. One orange a day may not sound like a grand plan, but over years it builds a fortress of resilience. Apples carry their own reputation. The old saying, "an apple a day keeps the doctor away," is repeated so often it almost feels cliché. Yet, like many proverbs, it carries deep truth. Apples are one of the most complete foods for supporting long-term health. They contain fiber, antioxidants, and vitamins, but their strength lies in two particular compounds: quercetin and pectin. Quercetin, found in the skin of apples, is a natural anti-inflammatory. Inflammation, especially when chronic, is one of the biggest drivers of cancer. It irritates tissues, damages DNA, and creates an environment where abnormal cells thrive. Quercetin calms this storm. By eating apples with the skin intact, thoroughly washed, of course, seniors give their bodies a steady dose of this protective compound. The effect is subtle, not dramatic, but it is precisely these subtle protections that add up over time. Pectin, found in the flesh of apples, is a soluble fiber that nourishes the gut. The digestive tract is often called the second brain of the body, and for good reason. Healthy gut bacteria improve immunity, regulate metabolism, and produce compounds that lower cancer risk. Pectin feeds these bacteria, keeping the gut balanced and resilient. For seniors, this means less constipation, better nutrient absorption, and a reduced chance of colon cancer. A simple apple, eaten daily, becomes a form of medicine as reliable as any prescription. The beauty of apples is that they are accessible to everyone. They store well, travel well, and can be eaten raw, baked, or sliced into salads. Seniors who struggle with chewing can soften apples by baking them, releasing natural sweetness without adding sugar. Those on limited budgets find that apples are often one of the most affordable fruits in the store, available year-round in dozens of varieties. Whether crisp and tart or soft and sweet, there is an apple to match every taste. The symbolism of apples and citrus fruits makes them even more meaningful. Both are ordinary, not rare. They sit on kitchen counters, in lunch bags, and at roadside stands. Their ordinariness is precisely their strength. They remind us that health is not built only on exotic remedies or expensive superfoods, but on consistent, simple habits. When a senior chooses an orange instead of a processed snack, or an apple instead of a sugary pastry, the choice may seem small. Yet that small choice, repeated daily, creates a shield against disease far stronger than occasional bursts of drastic effort. Stories from everyday life reveal the truth of these shields. A retired teacher in her late 60s began eating an orange every morning with breakfast. She noticed over time that her colds became less frequent and her digestion more comfortable. Her doctor praised her steady vitamin C intake, noting lower markers of inflammation in her blood. Another man in his 70s, struggling with constipation and concerned about colon health, added apples to his daily meals. Within weeks, his digestion improved, and over years, his doctor reassured him that his colon screenings remained healthy. These are not miracles, but the predictable results of steady, wise habits. There is a quiet dignity in protecting health this way. Seniors do not need to chase the latest diet fads or miracle cures. They can rely on fruits that have nourished humans for centuries. The power of citrus and apples is not just nutritional, but psychological. They remind the aging body and mind that protection can be simple, joyful, and affordable. Each bite carries reassurance. The body still has allies, and they are within reach. Aging often feels like a narrowing of choices. Doctors warn against salt, sugar, fat, and processed foods. The list of restrictions grows, and meals may feel like limitations. But citrus and apples bring back the sense of abundance. They add color, texture, fragrance, and variety to the table. They are not about restriction, but about expansion. More options for taste, more support for health, more ways to keep enjoying life. At the core, these fruits represent empowerment. Aging may reduce certain abilities, but it does not remove the power to choose. Choosing an apple each day is choosing to invest in colon health. Choosing an orange is choosing to fight inflammation and strengthen the immune system. Each choice sends a message. I still have control over my health, I still have the ability to protect myself, and I still have the right to live with vitality. The shield they create is not impenetrable. No food alone can guarantee freedom from disease. But shields do not need to be perfect. They need only to reduce risk, to make the body stronger, to buy time. For seniors, time is the most precious currency. Time to walk, to laugh, to hold a grandchild, to share a meal with friends. If a daily apple or orange extends that time even slightly, then their value is beyond measure. The lesson is clear. Health is not always hidden in exotic fruits or expensive supplements. Sometimes it is found in the most ordinary places, in the citrus that brightens a winter morning, or the apple carried in a pocket for an afternoon walk. These simple choices, repeated over months and years, weave a layer of protection around the body. They are the natural shields of life after 60, shields built not with force, but with consistency, not with wealth, but with wisdom. Fruit isn't just fruit. After 60, every bite you take has a deeper meaning. Each choice carries you closer to strength or nudges you toward weakness. The apple on the counter, the orange in your hand, the grapes in the fridge, none of them are neutral anymore. They are either medicine that builds your resilience or poison that chips away at your defenses. This truth may feel sobering, but it is also empowering because it means that the power to protect your health lies in your own hands. Aging brings many changes that can feel outside of your control. The body grows slower, joints stiffen, eyes dim, and the immune system loses its sharp edge. But food remains a decision you can make every day. By choosing wisely, you tip the scales back in your favor. The fruits you eat become soldiers fighting on your side, guarding your cells, protecting your independence, and giving you more years to spend with the people you love. The lesson is not about fear, but about wisdom. Grapes left unwashed or moldy, watermelon left in the heat, dried fruit packed with sugar, bruised apples filled with toxins. These carry risks that are easy to overlook. They seem small, even harmless, until years of accumulation lead to illness. On the other side, pomegranates bursting with polyphenols, blueberries rich in anthocyanins, citrus fruits glowing with vitamin C, and apples full of quercetin and pectin, these are weapons of defense. They stand guard every time you eat them, reducing inflammation, neutralizing free radicals, strengthening your gut, and lowering your cancer risk. This is the difference between a future filled with hospitals and one filled with family gatherings. It is the difference between a life where every day is a struggle to maintain energy and one where mornings feel light and evenings end in peace. Health after 60 is not just about avoiding disease. It is about preserving dignity. It is about walking without fear, laughing without pain, and knowing you are doing what you can to stay independent. Every senior knows the fear of losing independence. The thought of relying on others for simple tasks, of giving up freedom, is more frightening than almost any diagnosis. Food is one of the most powerful tools to fight that loss. When you choose protective fruits, you are not only defending your body, you are defending your freedom. Every orange peeled, every apple eaten, every handful of blueberries is a declaration. I am still in control of my life. There is comfort in this simplicity. Unlike complicated treatments, protective fruits are accessible. They are not reserved for the wealthy or the privileged. They are found in grocery stores, farmers markets, and even backyard trees. They do not require prescriptions or appointments. They require only awareness and consistency. Choosing them is not a burden. It is a gift you give yourself daily, a small ritual that builds a shield over time. Think of the future you want. Do you want years filled with doctor visits, treatments, and medications that leave you exhausted? Or do you want mornings where you wake with energy, afternoons spent walking with friends, evenings around the dinner table with family? That future begins not with medicine cabinets, but with fruit bowls. It begins with understanding which fruits to avoid and which to embrace. It begins with decisions that may feel small, but carry enormous weight. Many people discover this truth too late, after illness has already taken hold. But the beauty of food is that it is never too late to start. Even after years of less than ideal choices, the body responds when given the right fuel. Seniors who begin eating protective fruits see changes: better digestion, more stable energy, fewer infections, clearer skin, lighter moods. These are signs that the body is grateful, that it is healing in response to your care. It is important to remember that no single fruit is a miracle. Health is not about one glass of juice or one handful of berries. It is about patterns, about what you do most of the time. The danger lies in repeating risky habits until they carve out disease. The power lies in repeating protective habits until they carve out resilience. Consistency is the true secret. A pomegranate once a week may help, but a pomegranate most days creates real defense. An occasional apple is nice, but a daily apple becomes medicine. There is joy in this journey. Food is not just fuel, it is memory and connection. Sharing an orange with a grandchild, baking apples into a family recipe, serving a bowl of blueberries at breakfast. These moments nourish the soul as much as the body. They transform healthy eating from obligation into celebration. The best habits are the ones that bring happiness, because happiness keeps you consistent. The message is clear. Fruit can save you or it can harm you. At this stage of life, there is no middle ground. Each choice builds the path you will walk tomorrow. By avoiding fruits that carry toxins, bacteria, and excess sugar, you remove threats from your life. By embracing fruits that fight inflammation, protect DNA, and strengthen immunity, you add layers of protection. Over time, these layers create a shield so strong that illness struggles to break through. Imagine years ahead where you feel light on your feet, where you spend time with loved ones instead of sitting in waiting rooms, where you enjoy food without guilt or fear. That vision is not fantasy. It is built one bite at a time, starting now. No matter your age, no matter your past habits, you can begin today to rewrite the story of your health. The fruit in your hands is not just fruit. It is a choice. It is medicine, or it is poison. The decision belongs to you. If this message resonates with you, do not keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend, a neighbor, or a family member who also wants to stay strong after 60. Health is a gift best shared. When you spread this knowledge, you are not only protecting your life, but extending that protection to others you care about. And when entire communities begin choosing wisely, the ripple effects are profound. Less sickness, more energy, more joyful years for everyone. The journey does not end here. This is just one step in understanding how small, everyday choices transform long-term health. Continue learning, continue choosing wisely, and continue protecting your independence. Stay with us, because we will keep bringing you science-backed, simple tips designed to help you live stronger, longer, and happier. Subscribe to this channel and make it part of your routine, just like eating an apple a day. Together, we can make the years ahead not just longer, but better.